Hello, my name is Tylluan Penry. I'm a solitary pagan witch, an author, and I founded the Wolf and Howl Press. And today's little chat is about cleansing. How do we cleanse things? How do we cleanse places? Well, methods differ. As with all things magical, there is no single way. There's certainly no single correct way. There are some ways that seem to work better than others, and there are some ways that work better for some people than they do for others. So you have to do a bit of work yourself. You know, please get out of the idea that you somehow go off to your spell book and go through it and look for the way to do it. It's a start, but it's not the beginning and the end. It's a start only. You have to put the work in. If you ask me how do I cleanse things, my natural response is to say I cleanse them with my breath. And that's because I believe that a good witch can get by with nothing but her bare hands and her breath. I believe that all magic takes place on the out breath. So, as you blow away. And it's a bit like when you have dust. You blow it away. And in the same way, when you're magically cleansing something, it's a very good way to do it. Literally just hold the object up and mentally, because that's your intention and your will, you mentally project the idea that you are blowing any negativity or whatever it is you want to get rid of, you're blowing it away. There are lots of different ways to breathe out, you know, you breathe like that, but that's not suitable for magical cleansing. If you're going to cleanse, you really have to purse the lips a little bit, tighten them up a little bit so that you get some force into it. So that's my way. It's my preferred way. I wrote a book called Magic on the Breath, which went into all this in some detail. But I appreciate it's not for everybody. Not everybody feels comfortable doing it. Not everybody feels that it works for them, so we're going to look at a few others as well. Another favourite method of mine is ringing a bell. Now, I brought a bell today. It's only a little one. It's got a little Welsh lady on the top called Jenny Jones. And if we ring it, you can hear it quite well. The bigger the bell, the less you have to ring it. So if you used a little bell like that, you would really have to put some work in. You would have to walk around ringing it. You'd have to ring it into the four corners of the room, the space, the home, whatever it is, the garden. It would take a lot of work. If you can get a bigger bell, something like a school bell, then obviously you're not going to have to do so much work. But something you do find, if you try ringing a bell quite loudly over, say, a tray of pebbles, and then you feel the pebbles, there's this wonderful... you don't even have to put your hand on them, you put it above and you feel this wonderful vibration, which is part and parcel of how they shake off any negativity, any energies that you don't want to keep. So it's a very good way to do it. It's easy, and you know, you can either do it mentally, which is the way I do a lot of my magic. Certainly as I've got older, it tends to be all in my mind and I just think it through to myself. But if you want to speak, you know, there is nothing wrong with you sort of picking up your bell and ringing it. Be clean, be blessed. All negativity is not welcome. Oh, no, that's not quite right. Negativity is not welcome here. You do have to be careful the things you say. All negativity is not welcome here is just a mouthful and it's a mess. So think of what you're going to say. I would do something like, you know, be clean, be blessed, depart from here, those entities that do not wish me well, stuff like that. You can make quite a thing out of it. But plan it in advance, because you can see what happened there. I picked it up, start, and then I'm like, oh no. Well, if I was really trying to do a cleansing, it would be a pity to do something like that. It's not a massive error. Nothing terrible is going to happen. You're not going to have blood oozing out of the walls as a result. But you do have to have a bit of common sense. So that's another method. Another method which is quite good is salt. Now you do have to be careful with salt because it tends to turn to water. So you have to be careful what you put it on. It's very, very good for cleansing things like around the outskirts of your home, if you can walk right around it. If you can't, you've just got to do the bits you can. It's very good across doorsteps, windows. You could put a bowl of salt in the hearth if you still have an open chimney. That's another good idea. I did know somebody once who used iron filings, because iron traditionally repels harmful energies, but of course where I live it rains all the time, so quite apart from washing it away, you would have a long rusty mark all around the place. So perhaps it depends where you live sometimes. Another thing, and this is only a simple idea, is the colour red. Now where I live, you will sometimes come across little old cottages that were painted red. In fact, if you ever get the chance to go to the St Fagans, the Welsh Folk Museum, there is a cottage there, Kenixton Farmhouse, which was painted red. And it was painted red as a defence against the devil in those days. That's how they viewed it. As a pagan, well, no, I don't believe in a devil, so I would say it's a defence against evil, harm, negative energies. Great idea. You may not want to or be able to paint your home red, and I wouldn't recommend it indoors anyway. It'd probably drive you up the wall. But you can certainly do things like hang up red ribbons, a wreath in the kitchen, little plants and things, and a red ribbon round them. It's a nice way to do it, and quite traditional as well. Some areas combined it with blue, red and blue, but red will do perfectly well on its own, and it's very nice to use that way. Another thing that people would sometimes do was they would collect rowan berries. Now rowan berries are red, and they would sort of squash them up and make a solution in water, and then use the water and paint the windowsills and paint the doorsteps with it as a defence against anything harmful coming in. But when we cleanse things, it's not just defensive, it's actually trying to get rid of whatever's there. It's not trying to stop it coming, it's trying to get rid of it. And of course the greatest weapon we have in trying to get rid of things we do not want around us is up here. It's our mind. And you have to be determined to push it away. You can mentally think of pushing away like this. And you see, I'm very careful, I won't do it at the camera, because I'm not pushing you away, my listeners. You push things away like that, and you feel it. You feel the resistance while you're doing it. You know, people would say, oh, that's just in the imagination. Well, you know, I always say, what is it with the imagination? People talk as though your imagination, your mind, is some kind of rubbish dump, and it's not. You push it away with your mind. And as above, so below. If you push it away mentally, you are pushing it away. You are getting it away. So these are just simple suggestions, and I hope they've helped. And thank you for listening. Goodbye.